Thank you so much.
Hopefully they're okay.
A little different focus. So this may give you some chance to drink some beer, which I know you appreciate. So there's been a lot of focus lately on one particular candidate who's an outsider, who's raising hell about things, saying things that mainstream candidates probably can't say for various reasons. And there's also this group of governors out there who say, well, we have the executive experience to run the country in a way, but in my opinion, what they're not seeing is Washington, D.C. is such a different place than a state legislature, and it's such a different process to work things through. So why is someone like you more equipped to do this, and why will they maybe not succeed in this effort where you can?
Yeah, for those of you who didn't hear the question, it was comparing experiences, because you're saying a lot of folks who are in business saying, well, I've been in business, I can make business decisions. The President of the United States is not the CEO of a company. And it's not everything the President says that goes. I mean, you've got to work with a Congress that can be rather non-compliant, and you have to be accountable to the American people, and you have to have the American people behind you for what you want to do, and then plus you have the bureaucracy, which is burrowed in, tunneled in, and it's not like, well, a CEO can go and fire people and clean house, and just can't do that under the, unfortunately, in many cases, the laws, the civil service laws that we have. So the president needs to be a leader. He needs to be a leader from a vision standpoint, from a communication standpoint, to try to mobilize, rally, and unite the country behind a common purpose. That's the most effective way you can lead in Washington, is if you have the support of the American public. That's not a CEO's job. I mean, the CEO doesn't go out and maybe talk to shareholders on occasion, but rarely, if that. It's a very different kind of job, and you're not your ability to be successful in Washington, unlike, let's say, a governor. Most governors deal with part-time legislators who don't have political power bases, don't have access and strength in a national and maybe even international media to be able to compete with you on share of voice and vision for the country. It's just a much harder job. And plus you have a national media, which is, no offense to the local Des Moines media, but it's not the same as the state capitol press corps. I mean, you're talking about a national and international media that is watching everything you do and holding you to a standard that you're simply not held to as a governor. And so when you can get things accomplished in that atmosphere in Washington, and you have a record of doing so, which, one of the things I like talking about is I like talking about my record, because most candidates don't in Washington, but I do. Because whether it's welfare reform, or whether it's Iran sanctions, or anybody have health savings accounts, if you have a health savings, I was the author of health savings accounts, and we were able to get a lot of very strong conservative, I say conservative, I mean pro-open economy, pro-freedom, pro-consumer ideas passed, and pro-helping the poor, I mean, in a way that has never been done before. When we passed welfare reform, we cut welfare rolls in half, and you can say, well, that could be a good thing or a bad thing. It could be a bad thing if we cut welfare rolls in half and everybody ends up on the street, right? It's a bad thing. But that's not what happened. Poverty levels went to the lowest levels ever that were ever measured. So we had some good ideas, and I was able to articulate them, and in a very conflicted environment, be able to get some things done. Iran and the sanctions. I was the author of the Iran Freedom and Support Act, which put the original sanctions on the Iranian nuclear program. Now, when I did that, I had bipartisan support. Although Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama, Joe Biden, John Kerry all voted against me. But Chuck Schumer voted with me, okay? And a whole bunch of other Democrats voted with me. And eventually we got it passed. So I share that with you, that to determine whether you're going to find someone in Washington, you're going to send to Washington to get a job done, you might want to see whether they've actually done anything and been able to be successful in the past. And in spite of the fact that, look, I'm a conservative and I have very strong opinions on things, and I try to lay them out in very clear ways, I also believe that you got your job as president is to solve the problems of the country and to sit down with people on the other side of the aisle and work through those things and get things done. And I will match my track record with anybody who's been in Washington, D.C. who's in this race. No one has a record of sitting down and accomplishing big things, not naming a post office, not naming an overpass, but actually accomplishing major pieces of legislation that help improve the quality of life in our country.